You know, one of the greatest innovations for video and cameras has been the sports camera, action camera, or what we call a GoPro. And this is a GoPro. This is the brand, the GoPro. Even the knockoffs, we call them GoPros. But this is a GoPro. This is one of my favorites that revolutionized my production over the past few years. This is the Hero 7 Black, and this came out several years ago. But this camera is absolutely amazing, and I use it quite often in my productions. And this is how I do it. So let's talk GoPro. I started using a GoPro about 10 years ago. Before that, nah, they're toys. I just never would consider one unless I had to do something really radical like skateboarding or, skiing or surfing or something, rock climbing, jumping out of an airplane. I don't know. That's what I thought they were used for. They're kind of toys in my opinion. Along came the Hero 4, and I could put, at the time I remember I could put, which is commonplace in all of them now, where you had a screen in the back. You could see what you're shooting. That was my biggest complaint about them. And then again, the Hero 4 had HD 1080, and I could use that for a production I was working on. Got some great shots in a studio in Nashville for a television network, and the pictures look great. I was able to use that and match it with some of the video I shot with cinema cameras. Of course, the cinema cameras look better, but in post I was able to correct that. And that's the first time I really ever used a GoPro. And the pictures, well, video looked pretty good. I was very happy with that. Fast forward a few years later, and this guy, the Hero 7, I started to use. Now you notice there's three I have here: the Hero 7, the Hero 9, and the Hero 10. The reason is these three are my favorite. These three are the ones I have the most experience with. So what I'm talking about, what do I use? And these are the three I have used for a number of years. I first started using the Hero 7 when I was a production manager at a television station, and we needed something other than a gimbal. We had a really nice gimbal rig, and I was using them personally, but you had to carry around this big thing, and you had to spend all the time to set up and get everything balanced just right with a bigger camera. Sometimes we didn't have time to use that to do commercials, and so I wound up getting the Hero 7 for two reasons. It had 4K, and it had a new thing called Hyper Smooth, which allowed me to, run back and forth, move around, and get smooth shots as if I had a gimbal on me. And that was great, and my crew used this quite often, and then I started using it, and then I went up one time going out with a reporter to do a news story, and the news story was my favorite subject, fires and firefighting. And I followed around this reporter, and I got some wonderful shots, and I used a Rode Video Micro, which I talked about in another video, and got these amazing footage. And I took it back, and it was all on the Hero 7, this little guy. The thing about the Hero 7 is it's kind of the same as the Hero 5 and the Hero 6 back in the day. It had the same battery, this battery. It came out the same way. Everything looked the same except this was the Hero Black, looked a little bit different, and shot in 4K. That was the key. It had the same battery system. Let me show you that. We'll talk more about batteries in another video, but it was the same thing. So there wasn't much to it. My biggest negative and gripe about this particular camera was every time you used it, let me show you this little rig I had here. You had to use a cage, okay? What's a cage? Let me leave these two aside because they don't have cages. You had to put it inside this little cage in order to mount it on a GoPro mount like this one. So here's the negative. This is what I didn't like about the Hero 7. It was like the Hero 5, the Hero 6, and every other GoPro I had before. I had to spend the time to put this in, and oh my gosh, if I had to change out the card or the battery, I had to open this thing back up, pull this thing back out, and et cetera, et cetera. It was always awkward. I didn't like that, but that's the old system. That's how it worked. I did do some great things. I took this camera to the Caribbean. I mean, just like this. This thing floated, and I could take it inside the water, went down. First time I ever used a camera for fun. And I took it out. It worked great. Got 4K video underwater. Didn't have to do anything with it. It was just waterproof. It was wonderful. It's simple to do. And that was the benefit of it. So I really like the camera. It's just, there's some things that were awkward about it. Now, as we move forward, these, you know, they work better than they used to. So again, that was the Hero 7 right there. Show you that. So fast forward. I didn't get a Hero 8. So if you notice, let me show you again right here. Hero 7, Hero 9, Hero 10. Why? The Hero 8 was like in between, and I didn't see that it was kind of considered really good for prime time. The Hero 8 had two innovations, which I liked. I moved the Hero 7 aside at the moment. It had this. This is on my Hero 9. It had feet, or the mount built in, so you could easily, without a cage, pop it onto any kind of GoPro mount. Very simple. That came out in the Hero 8. Also, the media mod came out in the Hero 8. This is the media mod for the Hero 9 and the Hero 10. And it, of course, has a pretty nice microphone. I use other microphones, but what I do like about it is on the back side of this media mod, this is for the 9 and the 10, you can bring in a microphone, wireless system, or any kind of microphone. I use the Rode Video Micro a lot. And you also have a USB-C, which I've powered this before. And then on the top here, you have an HDMI out. In fact, I'm using right now a media mod. If you notice right here, to show you the up-close footage, I'm using a Hero 10, another Hero 10. And this is connected up to a Volta, and I'm looking at a monitor to see what it looks like down below. I use this quite often. This is how much I think about these cameras. But this is really nice too. Use the media mod. I'm able to power it and send video out. And I could run audio if I wanted to. So that's what I used, and that's the big difference. That's what the Hero 8 came out with, a media mod and these feet. But I didn't think it was that great. The Hero 9, this camera, I've used it a lot. One of my favorite moments of using this was at a major concert where I had to get shots, moving shots of the artists moving, the guitar players, up close shots of guitars and moving in and moving out. And we didn't have time to get a bunch of big rigs and a bunch of gimbals and set all this up. I just used two of these and got some of the most incredible shots in a concert I've ever had. And I'm showing you those now, and just some wonderful footage. That was using GoPros, using the Hero 9. Negative about it was it's still using the same chip that was in the Hero 8, the Hero 7, the Hero 5, I think the Hero 6, not the 5, but Hero 6, same chipset. So it became a little bit sometimes clunky and quirky with the menu, but I never really had any issues with it. I use this a lot. And the other innovation the 9 came out with, the other ones did not have, is a screen, and you can see the video so you can see yourself. So not only have the video, the screen on the back, but you have the screen on the front too. Really like the back and the front. Go forward, got the Hero 10. The reason is the new chipset works better, a lot faster, and all around it's just a major improvement. This is the one, I would say this is kind of, okay, we're working, getting better. This is the one that was ready for prime time. And the Hero 10, I use it constantly in commercial productions for so many different daily video that I have to shoot. This one is my go-to for many reasons. I will tell you my only beef about the Hero 9 and the Hero 10, and I'm going to turn this off for just a moment. This is the power on it. My only beef about the Hero 9 and the Hero 10 is the fact that these things overheat. And I have some workarounds, and I'll talk about that when we get into batteries in another video. But that's my only negative about these two. And you say, why don't you show any others? Well, part of the reason at the time I'm taping this, my experience has been working with these three over the past 3 years. Again, the Hero 7, the Hero 9, and the Hero 10. So what would my suggestion be if you're going to buy one? Well, the Hero 9 is fine, but I really wouldn't get the 9. If you want something old, and let's say you have 5, 6s, and you have these old batteries that work with them, and all the cages, the rigs and things, your 7 might be good for you, but it's still pretty old. You can get them for bargains, but I would highly recommend that you just go with a 10. My personal opinion, Hero 10 and on. That's what I use for video. That's how I do it.